Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ron Bareback episode, and today I don't have your co-host. I have a guest, just a random guest. You might know her as DaniBaby. Welcome back, DaniBaby. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you very much.
The co-host is no longer the co-host. She's just a guest now, but she's back and she's better than ever, and we can't wait to talk about today's juicy topic, which is how to get away with cheating and how to catch a cheater. So let's get right into it, you guys. How to catch a cheater.
I would like to preface that I do not support cheating in any way, shape, or form, but sometimes there's certain circumstances where you just have to get even.
I mean,
that's all I'm gonna say about that one.
Now listen, we don't condone cheating at all. However, there are ways to go about these things, and we just rather you guys, do it properly and not get caught. So we're going to teach you guys how to cheat properly and not get caught. And the number one thing is super common sense. I've gathered some notes here because, I am not a cheater. But
I've never cheated either, so I just want to say that.
However, if I were to cheat, these are the routes that I would go to make sure I don't get caught and do it properly. And I want to show you guys and teach you guys out there how to do it properly. So the number one thing is common sense. It's change your side hoe's name in your phone. This is so important.
So when you say that, what would you change your side piece's name in your phone?
So I think the females should be changed to like a guy's name. And I think the guy's name should be changed to the girl's name. So if I was cheating on my boyfriend with a guy, I would probably change his name to like Samantha or something. It's very common sense. I feel like everyone should know this. It's just
okay,
so
but what about then he's like, I didn't know you had a friend named Samantha, babe. Who's that?
And that's very true also. So I maybe change mine to like Danny or something, and then change Danny's actual name to like something else
friend
that only I would remember. Exactly. So it's like you guys need to know, like, think about how
you have to like work around your own specific situation. Like,
exactly.
You know your boyfriend, you know your girlfriend,
and think to yourself, like,
so bad.
Like, how much of your friends does your boyfriend know? Like, does he know this person? Has he heard of this person? I mean, be smart about the situation. Don't be sloppy.
But honestly, these days, I know some people just want to get caught.
Exactly. They just don't even care. And it's so disappointing. Next one is make sure your other devices are all logged out. And what I mean by this is kind of just like iCloud. Do you guys know how sometimes like your iPhone messages is linked to like your iPad or like your computer? So like whenever you're getting a text on your iPhone, it comes up on like your computer also and like your iPad. So it's kind of just like make sure like those devices don't get the messages, because I'll be on my phone texting and then my phone will be on my computer and I forget that all my text is coming up on my computer also, and I'll hear it ding.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I didn't realize that, but now that I'm like you're saying that, I have seen your text messages come up on there. Obviously I don't read them, but I'm like, oh my god, like,
exactly.
Yeah,
and so you guys
definitely, that's a good one for sure.
Mm-hmm. So make sure you're logged out of all your devices. Make sure those devices cannot get those texts, because that's one way to get caught. Because even if your significant other isn't there at the moment on the device, it's as simple as just logging on and being curious. It's like your second phone. You could be out grocery shopping, having your phone with you, but she or he could be at home going on your little computer and just seeing all your messages, and it's just all bad. And sooner or later they will catch up that Danny shouldn't be sexting me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're gonna put two and two together
and be like,
eventually.
Why is Danny talking about blowing this bitch's back out? Like, I thought they were friends. And later he'll start to scroll, and then oh my god, it just becomes a mess. Next one, very, very important, is choose one app to speak on. This is so important. Do not have these conversations with these flings like on Instagram, Messenger, Snapchat, and then everywhere else. Pick one device.
I think I would choose Snapchat, yes or no?
Well,
I feel like that's the best place to do it on.
Snapchat is like, Snapchat is known to be an app for cheating.
Okay, so what are you going to do it on LinkedIn?
Yes, actually, don't do it on Snap because Snap is very suspicious. It's like known for Snapchat app users. Like, Snapchat's where you go to cheat. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like now that Instagram has vanish mode, that's the number one thing that people
I don't think so. I think Snapchat is still the number one place to cheat because think about it. It's so DL.
You're going to go to Facebook.
Right. Like, you got to go to the one place that no one ever suspects. But, like, Snapchat's kind of just like all the messages disappear. The app itself is made to disappear like that.
You're going to be talking on Yelp. Like, yes, this Denny's restaurant was spectacular. I would love to visit it again.
Exactly. But there are so many creative ways. And I feel like Snapchat is just like, if you guys are hooking up on Snapchat, you're asking to get caught. You guys are talking on Snapchat, you're asking to get caught.
Yeah, but you can delete shit.
I know.
I mean, I guess if they're really smart, they can put two and two together.
But think about it. If your Snapchat is like, if your boyfriend or girlfriend is Snapchatting someone who's at the very, very top and you go to look and the messages are hella old.
That's definitely like suspicious.
That's
you're right.
hella suspicious.
So, okay, fine. You're right.
If your significant other is Snapchatting someone and it's like pretty recent, but you go to chat and there's like no messages because none of it was saved. And like anything that was saved was like from a long time ago. It's like, why did you just start disappearing?
See, I wouldn't know anything about any of this because I've never cheated. And now that I know, like, I think I'd be a pretty shitty cheater. I think I just, like, you know.
Exactly. But
I'd get caught.
Don't talk on Snapchat. I feel like Instagram.
I think you'd get away with it.
I would get away with cheating 100% because I'm so smart and sneaky. But, like, the reason why I don't cheat is because of how good I would be at it, that it would just be eating me up alive.
So you're saying that you have a conscience?
Well, I do know how to be faithful and I do know how to be loyal, you know, like, okay, I am a slut. Sure. I will slut out. Me and you will whore out, but when it's time to lock it down, we're gonna have to lock it down.
You know how to lock it down.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying here.
So, Melissa, don't talk on Snapchat.
Okay, so where do you recommend the text to do this on then?
I feel like the best thing would do is just like do text.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's not an app, but okay, for sure.
It's just text. It's easier. It's super easy. And
okay,
like,
but realistically, does any person ever stick to one app? Like, let's be real. I've heard stories, and these bitches are talking everywhere. And I guess maybe that's why we're giving this lesson, because maybe everybody who is cheating, even though it's not right, should at least not be getting caught.
Exactly.
So,
it's awful, but if you're gonna do it right.
If you're gonna do it, just don't ruin what you have going. I hope for everyone who is cheating out there, you come to your senses before you get caught and you realize what you're doing just isn't okay.
But we'll have a disclaimer at the end of the podcast.
We'll do the whole like.
But in the meantime, we're gonna be discussing on how you can get away with it, and that is just to choose one app to speak on. Honestly, WhatsApp is a number one thing too. Do not go on WhatsApp. Like,
I thought that was like for international.
Exactly. WhatsApp is for international, but you can also use it to talk to like discrete numbers and stuff. So like, you could have a WhatsApp. I could have a WhatsApp. We could just easily talk right now, you and I. It'd just be under a different number. WhatsApp is so sketch.
Leslie went to Peru once, and we were all about using that because we were just like contacting each other. But I mean, ever since that was like 7 years ago, I never used it again.
But you could use WhatsApp to cheat too, and on top of that, it's just suspicious.
So people do that. People do that.
Mm-hmm. They will go to like, the thing is, you guys, people are going to such an extent to fucking cheat and just get away with it. It's like, just throw the whole relationship away. Like, it's such an effort. Like, why cling on to that if you just it's such a waste of time. But another thing is, like, look for those unsaved numbers in the text. Because a lot of the times the guys will not just save the numbers anyways, because it just looks less suspicious, because people pay more attention to saved contacts than contacts that aren't saved. So,
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but I mean, if you think that, then
100%. I don't ever look at the numbers that aren't saved, because to me, I'm just thinking it's like an advertisement.
Oh, I'm always just like, oh, it's a random bar guy.
Yeah.
Like,
or like, I just think like it's like an advertisement. But if you guys save your number under like those like 3-digit numbers, because those are like your T-Mobile texting you, calling you.
I'm like, Elena, that's a really good
because you know how sometimes like you get a text. It's not like from a phone number, but it's from like 071.
Or it's like 80% of your data usage has
exactly.
been, like,
and it's always saved under like 3. It's always like contacting you from like 3 numbers. Like there's never like a full phone number. It's kind of just like 3 numbers. Another one is you guys can talk in code.
What does that mean?
So for example,
I don't even know what that means.
I can text you kind of just like
butterfly.
Like no, kind of just texting like what you just said right now, like, oh, your 80% data usage is all this, and that could be a sign like, oh, she wants dick or he wants dick. Like for example, if I wanted, let's say like I'm cheating on my boyfriend with Danny, and Danny is like the side bitch, so like Danny could text me, or like I can text Danny like, oh, 80% usage of iPhone is this, and it could be
70% like, means like come over to my place, and 80% means I'm coming over to your place.
Exactly. So Danny and I can have our own little code language that we talk and just cheating. Or like I've seen memes where like I'll have like Danny's contact saved under like a pizza delivery, and then you would text me like, oh, 80% coupon, like blah blah blah, this and that. But that's just kind of me like I'm horny and I want some, you know. Like there are ways around this, you guys, and that's like a good one. Like I can literally just have Danny's number saved as like Domino's Pizza, Pizza Hut, T-Mobile, and then Danny would text.
I got this double stuffed pizza for you.
Exactly. And so Danny can be texting me like those like false advertisement, but only I would understand that it's in code. So it's all so bad. It's also raunchy, but there are ways around this. The next one is you guys. This next one is so important, and I can't sweat it up. It's just erase all your messages. Erase them. Like, I sometimes like to keep my messages. I love doing that. On Snapchat, I'll save every messages, and the guys are always like, why are you saving? Like, why are you saving? And it's like, I'm going to be honest, I'm like a ditz, so like, I forget what we're talking about, so I need to save it to remember it. And they're always just kind of like, unsave it, that's suspicious, unsave, that's suspicious. And I'm like,
they have girlfriends.
Exactly, so they have a girlfriend.
They're the ones that have the girlfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so kind of just like unsave your messages. Delete them all. Like, swipe, delete. Don't keep any evidence. Like, she's a side bitch. He's a side hoe. Like, there's no reason for you to keep any of this. Why would you want that? Like, why would you want that out there? It's going to surface.
Of course, 100%. Always delete your messages. I mean, like you said, I'm a complete ditz, and so I always have to look back at my messages. But I mean, if it's somebody that you're cheating with, both of you guys are not stupid. Like, you're gonna delete the evidence, like, regardless. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So.
Next one is no snaps or photos. Don't ever take snaps with your side bitch, or don't ever take snaps with your side hoe, and make sure your side hoe and your side bitch does not, or make sure your side piece does not take photos of you either, because
once a photo gets taken, it's done. Game over,
because they have that photo over your head. There can no sex tapes, no skanky little snaps, no nothing. This is a sneaky link.
This game is about to get a whole lot more dangerous if there is video footage of any sort.
Exactly. This is a sneaky link. This isn't a little, oh my God, let's cherish this moment. Keep that for your girlfriend. Right. We are having a sneaky link right now. You have no business capturing any of this on camera. And
even sex tapes, even the sex tape of it, you know what I mean? And like, if they get caught, the boy will be like, oh my God, baby, that's old. I took it forever ago. And that's when the girl looks at the date. And that's when they realize.
Exactly. That's how you know, you guys. That's how you know. It's just so bad. But don't ever let any of your side pieces, just take any photos or videos. That's so bad. Your ass can get caught. Like, the sneaky links are supposed to stay sneaky links, and sometimes the side piece always gets attached. And it's like, that's when you gotta watch out.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that one.
The next advice is don't go bragging about your sneaky links, you guys. I know it's fun to talk about oh my God, I got with this person recently. It's kind of just this is information
only your best friend needs to know, and even then it's pushing
exactly. Even then it's pushing it. This is the information that can break or make your relationship. So you need to really trust anyone.
You trust the wrong person, they're gonna go ahead and tell everybody.
Exactly. And I get it. It's kind of just like, you just got with this person. Like, for guys, I get it, you know? I feel like guys are going to be more loyal to each other.
Like, yeah, the thing about guys is that they're all talking about smashing everyone. And, like, they are, like, what I learned is that boys will lie for their friends. Like, 100%, boys will lie.
100%. They will. And, like, they're always talking about, like, smashing the baddest fucking bitch.
Like, literally, boys have a group chat of being like, I cheated on this bitch this weekend. Like, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, was it good? Was it good? The boys want to know. They literally are all doing it. Like, 90% of guys cheat. Let's just be real.
100%. Like, so we had this trans friend, and her boyfriend had a group chat with his friends. And we know this because she literally went through his phone, you guys, and she found all of the messages, screenshots of him talking about how he cheated on her with this cis girl and how he cheated on her with this other tranny, and just how, like, religiously he, like, cheated on her and the next bitch that he wanted to fuck. And she found all this on his phone when she went through it, you guys. And all the friends were what, Danny? What were all of his friends doing?
Like, applauding him. Like, good job, bro. Good job. You know what I mean?
And they were just hyping him up. And so I feel like for guys, it's kind of just like, the more they cheat, the more they get applauded for.
And that wasn't even like, it was like a trans thing. Like, it wasn't because she's trans. It's literally like every guy, like, does that.
It was just like a cheating thing. Yeah. But I feel like for the girls, you guys, like, girls love
to play innocent.
And they love to get at guys. So be careful who you tell this information to, because it can be as easy as, like, Danny running to my boyfriend and being like, oh my God, like, Elena did this. Very someone that we know running to your ex and being like, oh my God, Danny, like, fucked all these guys.
Oh my God, Danny never deserved you. Oh my God, the way she treated you was not okay. So, and spread lies about you.
So for the girls, it's just very, very tough. You need to be careful who you're telling this information to.
Because every girl will look at that and be like, oh my God, he could think of me that way. I could be the next sneaky link.
Exactly.
Like, these girls will play you. Like, you think these girls are your friends? No, baby.
You gotta be careful who you're telling this information to, because they can use it against you. So when it comes to having a sneaky link and you cheating, honestly, the best advice to get away with it is make sure no one but you and your sneaky link knows. And pick someone who can keep their mouth shut. Guys most likely won't run their mouth, but if you're a guy cheating on your girlfriend, make sure it's a girl who can keep her fucking mouth shut. And I would say to just pick a complete stranger that has no ties to anyone whatsoever.
Right. Even then, it can always get messy. This little guide that we made up can only go so far, babe.
Exactly. It takes two. If you're picking a mutual friend or someone who's going to be around,
shit's going to come out, baby,
it's
within the year.
Out eventually. You need to pick someone. Like, honestly, the best way to cheat for a guy or for a girl is just hire a whore. Hire a whore because they'll keep their mouth shut. It's their job. Hush money, but they might threaten you for it. However, it's the best way. If you pick a local bitch at the bar, it's as simple as her running into your girlfriend or your boyfriend and talking about it right after. And you guys, this is just how life works. Like, this is just how life works. You may think it's someone that you don't know, but because you're cheating, life will find a way to put your sneaky link in the same position or the same, like, what's like another word for like scenario, kind of just like same. Life will find a way to put your sneaky link in the same situation as your girlfriend or your significant other, and that will just end up happening because in your head you're constantly thinking of like, I need to pick someone that she would never run into, and so in a way you're kind of just always
like you're putting that energy out into the universe, and the universe is gonna screw you over.
That, or you're kind of just like you're
accidentally manifesting.
You're accidentally manifesting these two bitches to meet. So be careful who you pick and make sure like it's some random fucking person. Another thing I want to look out for is make sure your side piece wants nothing serious. This happens to a lot of guys to where like the side piece bitch will end up wanting like the guy
very, oh my God, you guys, I think he's gonna leave his girlfriend for me.
Oh my God. That's literally the fucking worst. No, he's talking about leaving her for... I'm so happy you said that because there's so many situations like that where like the guys or the girls would be like, no, like he's talking about like leaving his girl. And here's the thing, you guys. The thing with that is, like, honestly, cute. Do it. Go for it. Sure. But keep in mind, if he cheated for you,
he's gonna cheat on you.
Exactly.
You're not special, babe. He's gonna get bored of you, and he's gonna do the same thing that he did to her to you.
Exactly. And there's a saying that I always go by, and it's, you lose them how you find them. If you find them on Tinder, most likely you'll lose him to Tinder when he goes back on. If you were the side bitch and he broke up with his girlfriend for you, you'll end up losing him to him cheating on you for another side bitch. So it's so bad. You lose them how you find them, but make sure your side doesn't want anything serious. As for guys, I feel like guys don't really end up, because guys don't want anything serious regardless. So I feel like
guys, it takes like a lot for them to even want a relationship. Once you get them in that relationship, like if they start cheating and stuff, they're not gonna just jump to another whole ass relationship. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing they're gonna want, if anything. Like,
what about like the girls who cheat on the guys? What about like the side guy? I feel like he won't really get attached, only because one, he's seeing this bitch cheat on her boyfriend for him,
and that's not cute to the boy.
Already, he's probably
boys already hold themselves to a higher standard than they hold girls to, so they'll be like, oh no, like I could cheat, but when like she's cheating, she's not wifey material.
Exactly,
like,
that's just not it. And on top, it's kind of like, if a guy is sneaking around with another man's girlfriend, most likely he doesn't want anything serious already, because he's just kind of like fucking around. So I doubt a man is more likely going to get attached. But who knows? We might have some guys. But just make sure those guys don't get attached, because we want...
There's bitches watching this, like, getting inspired, like, liking, like, let's say, like, their friend's man, and, like, they're getting inspired, like, I could steal him.
Yeah, but, like, don't steal your boyfriend's man.
That's, like, the worst thing you could do.
Next one is very important, too, and it's a story. If you get interrogated, you need to keep your story short and simple and something that you can remember. So a lot of the times we think that to get out of that situation, like if you came and be like, oh, where were you?
You have to over-explain.
You have to over-explain. Do you know what I mean?
Overdo it. But that's going to make you look more sketch.
Suspicious. If you give too much fucking details and you just go on and on and on, it's almost like you're trying to make yourself believe the story. At that point, it looks hella suspicious. So you guys, when it comes to that, make sure you have your story short, simple, and that you'll remember, you know? Like, think of, like, a time that you might, like, something that you might have been doing that day. So, like, if I was out fucking some dude, I can be, okay, tonight, I am doing this. And just keep it short and simple and have it in your head. Like, replay it so much in your head that even you start to believe that that's what you were actually doing that day.
And once that starts to happen, you've officially conquered... like
you're the cheating and the manipulating. Like if you
cheating and manipulation, like you're actually a psycho at this point. You little sociopath.
If you're lying to the point where you start to believe your own lies, like,
then you're a damn good liar.
But yeah, that's another one. Just make sure that your story is short and simple. You're not overdoing it. Exactly. Another good one is to have your story pre-planned. Have your excuses pre-planned also. So like, oh, on this day, babe, I'm going to be doing this with this person or with the boys or something like that. Like, have something planned beforehand so that she's already preparing up to that day. That way, I keep saying have your story prepared. That way your significant other is already preparing for that event. That way when the day comes, they won't think too much about it. Oh, hey, babe, like, I'm gonna
be out with the girls this weekend.
Yeah,
we're going for, like, tacos.
Exactly. So have your story pre-planned. That way when it comes down to it.
But be careful, like, don't give too much, like you said, because you say I'm going to get tacos at this one little taco shop down the street. What if he wants to surprise you with his friends?
Then you're fucked.
And then it's like,
or like,
where are
if you give details about, oh, I'm going out with this person, and let's say I'm like, oh, I'm going to go out with Danny and Melanie. Yeah. And I'm keeping my affair private, and not even Danny and Melanie knows about this. And then he hits them up like, oh, so how was tacos? And they're like, wait, what?
Not even like that, but like he's already on to you. So he's like, I'm going to hit them up just to see, like, you know what I mean? And they're like, we didn't. Usually boys are the ones that are like, oh, like cover for them. Like, you know, like boys just know that that's why the girls are texting.
Yeah.
But girls are clueless. Like, they're going to
definitely. Here's the thing, though. If no one is knowing about your affair, it's like, who, like, I can be sitting here like, if your boyfriend called me, Danny was kind of like, oh, like, how was, like, lunch with Danny last week? You know, I'd be like, I didn't go get lunch with Danny because in my head, I don't know Danny's having an affair. So I'm thinking everything's chill, you know?
No, but I think that you're smart enough to put two and two together and kind of just wing it. Like, why else would he be calling saying, what? You know what I mean?
Then at that point, after I'm going to wing it, I'm going to call you and be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Are you having an affair, you slut? Like, why is your boyfriend
and
calling
then I guess
me?
the cat's out of the bag.
And then cat's out of the fucking bag. Everyone
Honestly,
knows you're cheating.
That's why I recommend you tell your close friends that you trust. Because...
But not too many.
Not too many, no, not too many. But, like, enough to where, like, the people he would text that he's really close, like, you know, that he feels comfortable texting, like...
They would know. So I think in that situation...
Once he starts texting people that he, like, you don't know that well, like... You know what I mean? That's when it starts getting, like...
Interesting.
They're not going to lie for your ass. They're going to be like, I wasn't at tacos with Sarah that weekend.
You probably go check her phone. The fuck?
Right. They're, like, also on his side. Like, check that cheating skank's phone. Okay, guys. The next one that we'll be talking about is basically going into this, like, whatever you're doing, going into it with an idea of, like, an end date. So, like, it's going to be harder, like, easier said than done. But, like... You're feeling guilty, like, okay, you're, like, already feeling guilty enough that, like, you want to have this, like, cheating scandal. Like, go in with it and say, okay, look, we can do it once or twice, but no more times after that. Like, put an expiration date on it, like...
But here's another thing also, it's like, I feel like the reason why people don't stop is because once you cheated once... You've already cheated.
That's true. They, like, start seeing it as, like, well, one more time won't hurt. One more time won't hurt. And that's why you setting that rule for yourself, I mean, if you, like, have a strong discipline for yourself, like, I mean,
then
it could work out.
I mean,
but honestly,
just, like,
most people who are going in for it for that reason, like, they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care about the situation. Like, they're not going to go in for that. But, I mean, like... It's worth talking about. If you really feel that bad about it, go into it, experience things for like a week or two. But yeah, I mean...
Here's the thing, you guys. Like, I feel like once you get caught cheating, it's like... You're there... When you get caught cheating, your partners are going to be like, how many times did you guys fucking, like, hook up? It's...
They never ask that question.
Exactly. It's just, you fucking cheated.
Well, they'll definitely ask how many times, but regardless, like, usually when you say... Oh, multiple, like, that's shitty. If you even if you said, like, one time, that's still fucking shitty.
Exactly. Like, they're mainly focused on the fact that you still fucking cheated.
And even if you did say one time at that point, they're probably not going to believe you.
Exactly.
You just said that you, like, cheated.
Exactly. You cheated, but, like, once they find out that you cheated, everything's gonna start adding up, like all the late visits.
Yeah,
it's just,
everything's gonna get put together. They're gonna start being like, oh my god, it was probably more than one girl. Like,
it's just.
I love how we're already in our head, like putting it in the scenario of a guy cheating, but this could be like 100% girls cheat too.
Girls cheat too. Like
in my head, though, I'm thinking of like a boy cheating.
But you know what's so funny is that it's like I think girls cheat more than guys do.
Who said that?
It's because like girls, like, think about it. Like, we always paint the picture that men cheat, but like it's so easy for a girl to just like fall into like a man, you know?
There's just so many different situations. Like in my head off the bat, I think of like the like Marine best friend that's taking care of his Marine like best friend's wife while he's away at like fighting.
Yeah, I mean, it takes like, two though. It takes two.
And then she's like, babe, he was just comforting me. I missed you so much.
This is saying a shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. So
I've never heard that saying.
No, one to like a shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. So like,
wait, I love that saying. That should be like hanging right there in your house.
No, why would it be hanging in my house?
It's funny.
Why would I ever express my feelings to anyone ever? But it's kind of like the saying of kind of just like the guy best friend. Never trust the guy best friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because when you guys have a problem,
you know who I'm thinking of? I'm not gonna say his name here.
Who?
Fucked with Elena more so than I did. And he basically told Elena like, oh, like, I don't know, you know more, like the story more.
He basically told me like he wanted to like date me and all that, and so he would come back to visit me often here and there, and so he was a Marine, and so he gave me like boyfriend vibes, and I had a big crush on this man. And then later on, basically, I guess he was telling her like, oh, like, we can hang out this day, but I can't hang out this day because I'm busy. I have to take my best friend, because he was a Marine, but basically he was like, oh, like, my best friend, like, he passed away at war, like, I'm gonna, so basically every weekend I take out his, like, wife. Was it his wife? Yeah, this man would literally take his Wait, was his best friend dead or?
Yeah, that's why she'd take her out every weekend.
Okay, well then it's an exception.
Okay, but it's still like, can't someone else take her out for one weekend? Like, what if you wanted to go out that day?
Like, why does it have to be him? But so he would take out his best friend's wife?
Yeah, but the best friend was dead. He like passed away.
I mean, I feel like that's an excuse.
Oh no, it's definitely an excuse. But I'm just saying,
same purpose, kind of just like a dick.
Like, what if Elena wanted to go out that weekend with him, and like, you know what I mean? Like, can you make an exception for me, babe? Like, you're in competition with like, you know what I mean?
Your
Like,
dead best friend.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just like weird to me. Like when he said that, and then like. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. He's like watching this right now.
Don't take your best friend's dead. Like, respect him, please. Even in his grave, he's like rolling in his grave. Like,
you just never know. I mean, what if it's like a sexual movie? There's like a scene, and she just starts sucking him off in the movie theater. Like, you don't know what happened.
You never know these things. And what if she comes up? She's like, oh my god.
No, she comes up and she's like, it's what he would have wanted.
she's like, it's what he would have wanted. He would have wanted me to be happy. Like, wipes his fucking cum off her fucking mouth. And she's like, no, this is for the better. Or like, she's like comforting him, and she's kind of just like, oh my god, like it's so fucking hard.
Okay, real talk though. Now we sound like dicks, and I just want to say, honestly, condolences go out to you. We didn't mean it like that.
But you're so awful for taking her out. But I mean, we don't know your dynamic of the relationship, but whatever.
Everyone has different scenarios. I'm just saying, don't fucking trust anybody. That's all I'm saying. Oh, I heard he has a kid now.
Oh, you told me.
Oh, and it's funny. His like baby mama followed me on Instagram.
Ew, why?
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe because like he was following me.
She was like creeping. She was like, is this a guy?
She followed me. Fuck you, bitch. No, she followed me, and then I was like, what is this? And then I was like, who is this girl? And it said that he followed her. Mm-hmm. So then I clicked, and like they're very much like together, having a baby, and like it was.
Do you think it was like an accident, or was it planned?
Weird. I don't know. Like that.
Oh my god, let's talk about how he literally told me I confronted him about it, because I was like, why are you talking to Danny? And then Danny was telling me like how he was saying all these fucked up things out, and basically I confronted him about it, and
he basically was like, Elena's not relationship material, but you are.
Yeah.
But then like he was like saying like, oh, she's just good to fuck.
Yeah. And so I texted him about it, and he was like, you're the girl who cares about how much gloss she has on her Mustang, while Danny can have a real conversation. And I was like, honestly, not even offended by it, because you're so fucking right. Like, I care more about how much gloss is on my fucking car. I don't care about your feelings. But anyway,
I think I met him like once or twice at your house, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but I don't know.
That was that. And the next and the last one of how to get away with cheating is, if you're gonna feel terrible about it in the future and you're gonna probably admit to it, don't fucking do it to begin with.
Yeah, you can't all of a sudden wake up one day and choose to be a nice person. I learned that out the hard way. Goodness.
And keep in mind, you guys, it's gonna literally eat you guys up alive if you guys cheat. And you guys, I don't know, it's just, you guys have to really, really like not fuck with the relationship anymore to like really go out of your way and cheat. Mm-hmm. With that being said, let's talk about how to catch a cheater, because this one I feel is really, really fun, and this is what we were all waiting for. The number one sign that your boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating is they have new clothing or like a new style.
Is that the number one sign?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's little. Okay, now this isn't really how to catch a cheater. It's more so just how to, like, clues that might
to like look out for, to like keep yourself aware of.
Yes. So like, no one ever thinks about this, but for example, if your boyfriend or girlfriend is very like always comfortable in casual clothing and whatnot, and then one day out of nowhere,
he starts looking kind of good. You're like, where are you going,
good?
Babe?
Exactly. And one day he has a new haircut out of nowhere, starts to wear new clothes, she's wearing like new things, has her hair done, and it's kind of just like, you're always comfortable around me, so like, why, like, I don't know, what sparked this little makeover of yours? Yeah. Who are you trying to impress? And that's always the thing, like, oh, you look good, who are you trying to impress? Most likely they are impressing someone. So yeah. You guys,
and sometimes like they do it without even like cheating. Like sometimes people, like, it's like a subconscious thing, like, oh, you like someone at work, you start buying new clothes, and it's like innocent cheating. Like, you're not cheating on them, but you want them to like think, oh wow, that person's hot. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, wait, I totally know what you mean, because I'm guilty of this too. Like I won't even be cheating, but like sometimes if I see like someone attractive, I kind of just like walk by, glance at little presents there, make it known that I'm here, just get that little sense of validation a little bit,
and
you know?
So say maybe there's like a bitch at his work. Like, you're a stay-at-home mom, and he, like, there's a bitch at his work that he wants to start, like, you know, impressing, making himself, like, a little bit better than he usually does, and that's where that comes into play. And
like speaking for the girl, like, what if there's just like a hot guy at work or a hot guy somewhere? You kind of just want to make it known that you're here. You want that little validation. So
exactly,
it's like innocent cheating,
flirting, and well, it starts like innocent, like stares. It goes into flirting, and then it's just like, we just kissed once, baby. I only went to her house once. We fucked multiple times, babe. I'm so sorry.
Exactly. It all starts somewhere, but this is the main clue: is they start to look good. And now, if this person likes to look good a lot and has a routine of looking good,
then I wouldn't say this applies to you.
But if you guys are starting to get comfortable into like the relationship, and out of nowhere this person starts to get attractive out of nowhere,
but those ones are the dangerous ones, the one that always look good.
Exactly,
it's
because
like you can't really
it's
tell.
part of their routine.
Exactly.
And the next one's pretty obvious: is they're hiding things from their phone, or they're just hiding their phone from you. And like,
right,
I feel like once you get into a relationship, you're at that point where like you guys have each other's passcodes and things like that. You guys are just always like, oh yeah, he's picked my phone up, I don't care. But like, when you go from that and then out of nowhere it starts to switch to like him being more discreet with his phone,
he's hiding his phone, you better fucking hope that it's because he's about to propose to you
or have a surprise. You know, you better.
It's almost your birthday.
You better think to your head.
It's almost your birthday. You get a pass.
Yeah, you better think to your head. Like, is it a birthday coming up? Is it an anniversary coming up? Is it a special holiday coming up?
A surprise vacation, our anniversary.
Exactly. If not, it's like, why are you being so suspicious with your phone? Like, we don't want to be that crazy girlfriend that's kind of just like, let me see your fucking phone. But sometimes you guys kind of have to be. And if you see these clues adding up, time to start checking the fucking phone. Check Snapchat, check Instagram DMs, check the text messages, check all the unknown numbers. Like, check them all. Run through his contacts if you want.
I've never been in a relationship enough to like ever have any. I never wanted to come off as crazy. I never had any of my guys like passwords or anything like that.
That's true.
You know,
I mean, I've had all of my exes like passcodes and stuff, but I never ever really truly went through it, only because that kind of gives like psycho vibes. And on top of that, I didn't like to look like a psycho. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so like I don't know, I hold myself to like a really high like standard and pride, and so like going through someone's phone is very like, to me, embarrassing.
I never did any of that, but I was definitely a psycho enough in my own way. Like, I definitely was a psycho, but I just never like,
Danny would make up scenarios in her own head
and like
stuff,
drive myself crazy.
And she would drive herself insane. Like, she got off on that. But as for me, it's like I just never ever went through anyone's phone, because to me that was just very like, that's psycho vibes, and I didn't want to give that look, because to me looking like that is kind of just like a lot of insecurities. And it's kind of showing that you're insecure, and like, I don't like looking like an insecure person, so I just don't convince myself that nothing's going on. You know, like, I'm clearly the best of the best, and if he cheats, that's his loss. And if
I like that one show we watched where she's like, mommy's cheating on you, and she's like, you don't understand what
exactly
you're saying.
It's kind of like, call it in denial if you want to, but I mean, it's kind of like, I hold myself where it's kind of like, I am the best of the best. Like, he's not cheating on me, he's not dumb. Yeah. But
hot bitches get cheated on like all the time.
No, hot bitches 100% get cheated all the time. Everyone gets cheated on. You never know.
Yeah.
But that's the second clue. It's just like, he's hiding his phone from you. He's being more discreet with his phone. He's not showing you anything. And so that's when you gotta like run it through his phone. Like, when he's sleeping, if you need to hold his eyeballs up to like scan the Face ID because he changed his passcode, or squeeze his fucking thumb, do it. If you really have to do all that, fucking do it. You guys, this one is really, really good. Is if you guys aren't having that much sex in the relationship, or that much intimacy,
and he's not asking for it, he's probably getting it from somewhere else.
Exactly. And that's another big red flag. Is you guys are dating, you guys are in a relationship, you guys should be fucking a lot, you guys should be going to each other to fuck.
But also, every relationship does, like, as you're like longer with them, like, sex does become less common, I would say, for some people at least, and that's just the way it is. Like, you guys get comfortable, and like, you know, so, like, you know,
well, then at that point, that's kind of just on you to see what your relationship dynamic is like.
Yeah, that's really common. But I mean, if you guys like just aren't having sex like out of nowhere, or it's like a drastic like, I'm good, babe, like he's getting it from somewhere else, or she's getting it from somewhere else.
Because why would a man voluntarily jack off when he has a human to dump his load in? And why would a girl be using
that's so disgustingly dump his load in? Elena, that's disgusting.
And on top of that, it's like, why would a girl voluntarily use a dildo when she has a human cock to fuck?
Not necessarily. I would if I've like had a pussy, like I would use a vibrator every night.
But still,
because a lot of girls don't come.
But
from
essentially,
guys.
you would, want like that human interaction. And
Unless you had a fight that night, you're like, I'd rather just stick to my little toy.
But like, if you guys are in a relationship and he's like, you guys should be going to each other for pleasure and like to get off. And if he's not doing that, then he's most likely getting it from someone else, or she is most likely getting it from somewhere else. So that's a good sign. Is how's your sex life? Like, is it dry these days? What is it like?
So the next one that we noticed, you guys, is that they get very anxious or nervous, or even like lash out at you very easily. Like they're kind of just like getting over you. They start acting very weird around you like that. That could be definitely one of the signs.
100%. And like, it's probably because like they're kind of just frustrated with you. Like, they think about this, you guys. They go to like their side and they're having a grand time, and it's like, ugh, gotta go back to my annoying ass boyfriend or girlfriend. And then they just hold this resentment towards you. They can't explain it, but they just do.
They can't explain it. They know. They probably even feel more guilty that they even feel that way, because, I mean, you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
They're the ones doing it. They're like, why am I feeling this way?
So like they're mad at themselves, essentially, but they're taking it out on you.
Exactly. Not us being psychologists 101 over here.
We're supposed to be a sex and dating podcast. I'm over here like, so how are you? The next one is, their schedule is different all of a sudden. Like, when you're together, like
a set schedule of like your significant other. Like, usually that's just what ends up happening. I mean, obviously this isn't everyone. Some people, their schedule just is different every week. But for the people that do have set schedules, like, that's something that you could definitely look out for as well.
And then out of nowhere, it's like things are changing. Like, oh, I have to stay late at work.
I have to stay late at the office, babe.
Or like
some work at the office.
Exactly. Or like, oh, hold on. Like, it's just, it's sketch. It's super sketch. It doesn't add up. And it's like, what are you, like, you never had to stay late before. Why all of a sudden now? It just looks suspicious. And so that's when you kind of just have to, like, put your little spy sunglasses on.
Spy sunglasses. I like that. So the next one, their friends are acting a little bit funny towards you. Like, you start acting, you start noticing things about that.
And why do you think their friends start to act funny around you?
Their friend starts to act funny around you because they, in their head, have like a list of things that they can't ask or can't talk about. They have to start remembering things about that. You know what I mean? Like, they can't really ask like certain questions because they could like trigger something or like out their best friend. You know what I mean? Or like they have to remember like, oh, I was here on May 3rd with him bowling, when in fact you didn't even see him May 3rd.
And on May 3rd, he was fucking piping some bitch down.
Exactly.
So it's like their friends start to act really funny around you. They're not as open.
They're not like, really trying to engage with you maybe.
Because they're too busy focusing on like
staying away from you basically.
And keeping a role and just trying to stay on like on task of like the subject.
Definitely.
Another one is really tricky because this can sometimes happen, but not really. But like, this goes down to what we were just talking about, how like they can either get angry with you, or they can all of a sudden start giving you more attention. And I feel like this is a good one, because when you cheat on your significant other, you start to feel guilty, and so part of you tries to make up for it by like kissing ass, your
gifts, random
to your
gifts.
partner. So it goes down to just like them doing something so awful and they're feeling so guilty about it, so they want to make up for it.
A lot of inconsistency. And I mean, inconsistency can come from anywhere. It doesn't always have to be this specific scenario, but it's definitely something to look out for, because ultimately, like, their guilty conscience is going to catch up with them, whether they like it or not, or they can essentially just even be getting bored with their cheating life. Like, they've been doing it so much, they're like, I actually realize what I have.
And they value that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they start to like give you all this attention, and it's like, that's suspicious. You never acted this before. What made you act this way?
Yes.
And so like you never really know these things, so you kind of have to look out for the clues.
And keep in mind, while you're doing all this, they are going to gaslight you. Your friends are going to call you insane, crazy. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, if you have a gut feeling, trust your gut feeling. Like, what are you going to lose from it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just go with it.
Another one is like they're all of a sudden just like on one. Like, they have their period out of nowhere.
That kind of ties into like inconsistency and just like sporadic behavior, because they just don't know what they're feeling and stuff like that.
Another thing is you can't find them or reach them.
For like a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hours or two.
This is such a good one because you can like, this is so important because couples, they talk a lot. Boyfriend and girlfriends, they talk a lot. They're like each other's best friends. And if all of a sudden one day he just starts like taking a long time to like, if he's at work, I get it. But if you know he's not at work and he just takes a long time,
I agree with that one to a point, but also at the same time, like you could be cheating and texting you saying, "Oh, I'm right here" at the same time. You know what I mean?
Can you?
I mean, I'm sure some guys are messy with it and they don't.
Like you really have to really just like be dedicated to that.
Yeah, I mean, I get.
But I mean, like I feel like if I'm cheating on someone and I'm spending time with that person,
I feel like a lot of people cheat when they're at work, though. No,
I don't know because I feel like I would cheat to escape. No, so why would I want to be texting my partner? Or like still talking to my partner if I'm, like, trying to escape.
Maybe, yeah, it's like your little getaway.
Mm-hmm. And so like I might just, I don't know, it could be like, oh, I might nap for a bit.
I might nap for a bit, or like I'm going into a meeting, I'm putting my my phone on airplane mode or something like that. You know what I mean?
But like if it's a long time, that's interesting. But like if this person is like hard to reach, and it's interesting.
I think it just varies from situation
It
to
varies,
situation.
but that's another big clue.
But I mean,
make sure, like,
we know all of our listeners aren't stupid, and that you guys can obviously put that like 2 and 2 together anyways. So that one, like, I feel like goes hand in hand, like
100%.
And you're gonna freak out anyways. When I'm seeing a guy, if they don't like, we can just be talking, and if they're not fucking responding within like a certain amount of time, I'm like, oh my god, Elena, he's fucking the neighbor next door. Like, oh my god.
Danny plays scenarios in her own little head. She's
repeating
crazy.
things in my head. Like, I like won't even be with this guy yet, and I'm already over here like, he found someone better. Oh my god. So you can only imagine me actually tied down and how crazy I am. And somebody actually told me that. I'm not gonna say who it was, but they said verbatim, I don't know about making this official because we're already kind of dating and you're already acting like a psycho.
And do you think it's good to be acting like a psycho? I mean, it's one thing to keep your guards up, but like it's time to just be full on fucking crazy.
I mean, I think nobody should act like a psycho if you're not officially together.
I feel like,
but we were already acting like we were together, and like, I just like, I mean, I think if anything, it's more normal to be acting like a psycho, like at that stage of talking, because it's like you're together but you're not. At least if you're together, you have that title where you're like, okay, I can trust you. But if you're essentially not together, like he doesn't owe you anything, and so it's almost like scarier. Like, what is he doing? Is he like, you know, seeing someone else? And I mean, looking back, he was right. Like, I was acting crazy, and so it's just something that happened.
That goes on to just not being able to reach them. Now, with all those how to cheat and how to catch or signs of cheating, let's go down to real talk. Real talk is, you guys, do not cheat. We do not condone cheating. Cheating is not okay. But if you feel like you are going to cheat, one, throw the whole relationship away, or two, try to work on it. But like, do you believe that once a cheater, always a cheater? Or do you think people can change?
I think people can change. I don't think it would happen overnight, though. And I think that it takes one very special person to change that person. Like, I don't think they change from themselves. I think maybe like they just meet the person that like, okay, I just don't want to mess this up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think essentially, like, you don't cheat on people that you love. And I think maybe
they just haven't found someone they love
yet.
yet.
Once you find the person that you love, you're going to do nothing to mess it up.
I never thought about it that way.
And so I don't think, I mean, we can all say like, oh, we're working on ourselves every day, but essentially, like, you meet the love of your life, you're not going to want to mess it up and cheat. Like, why are you cheating? What are you cheating for? That means you were never happy because you were looking for something that person couldn't give you.
But if you watch this podcast, you can just learn how to cheat like a fucking motherfucker and get away with it.
Okay, well, this podcast specifically, I will say, was for people that
are awful.
Or they're getting cheated on and they want revenge. Like, literally, you're a toxic motherfucker and you just want to get back or get even. I know people like that in my life right now who specifically, like, you know, have done that, and they justify it with, well, he did it first, so, you know.
And on top of that, it's kind of just like, I think karma is gonna come, you know, like what goes around comes around. And if you cheat on someone, you will most likely be cheated on in your next relationship. And overall, cheating is just such an awful thing. It's such an awful thing to do to someone. It's such an awful feeling when you do get cheated on. So it's like, why would you put that on someone that you essentially that you love?
And keep in mind also, with that being said, like, I think that you get what you put into the world, like it comes back to you. And so you could think like, oh well, I don't want to get cheated on, so I'm just not going to cheat. But like you can literally like be a shitty person to someone and treat someone really badly, or like, you know, just different scenarios.
And that could be your karma is
and yeah, and you get cheated on because you're being a bad person. Like literally just like try to be the best person that you can be so you don't get cheated on. But even then, you just could get cheated on. Like the world really doesn't play favorites, and I just think that, I mean, at the end of the day, all we can do is just try to be our best authentic selves.
And on top of that, it's kind of just like, before you cheat, you guys ask yourself if this person is really worth jeopardizing everything that you have for. Like,
a drunken night out, is that worth ruining the, like, 8 years with the person you love?
Exactly. Like, drunk sex with some random person you meet for, like, a night, is that really worth jeopardizing the years, the month that you've been dating this one person?
And like, that person that you tell is like, they're not going to see it as drunk sex. They're just going to see it as cheating regardless.
Exactly. And it's really tricky, but it's just, you need to stop and think about these things because they do play a consequence. And if you're not ready to deal with it, then just don't do it. But with that being said, Danny, how far does it go until it becomes cheating? So like, how drunk do you have to be until it's considered like, okay? Like how... to what point does being drunk get surpassed, basically? Because a lot of times it's kind of like, oh my god, babe, I blacked out. I don't remember it happening. Like, I swear I don't remember it happening at all.
I don't really want to speak on that because, I mean, in my head, any type of cheating is cheating. Even like blacked out cheating, like you still cheated. I mean, I think that is something that should be talked about. Like, once that person's going through it, like you can have that conversation because I'm not the person to tell. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, personally, and like my personal experience, if I'm dating someone and they're like, oh my god, babe, I can't remember, I blacked out, can you forgive me? A little bit of me is still not gonna believe them, like, because
like it's kind of like you feel for them.
You feel for them.
Like, okay, I get it, like you blacked out, but like I can't swallow the fact that you still got intimate with someone else. You know,
it kind of just breaks the trust. And on top of it, it's like, were you blacked out the whole time? Like, were you even blacked out to the point where that, or are you just trying to justify it? But yeah. And also something else I want to touch on a little bit more, Elena, is that like cheating isn't just having sex. Cheating can also be flirting with the person you shouldn't be flirting with.
You think flirting is cheating?
I think.
Would you consider flirting cheating?
Okay, I'm a Libra, so like I think I flirt without realizing it, but there is an extent to flirting. Once you start noticing, like, I'm gonna go talk to that person and like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do you think flirting is cheating?
I'm a big flirt. I like to flirt for fun. Like, I flirt for my own entertainment. But, I mean, like, I would never act out on it. You know what I mean?
I feel like flirting is cheating because I think we all, like, we're all adults and we all have boundaries and we all know, like, you know, like, what you shouldn't be doing. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess it depends on the relationship because I know some couples, they just go to, like, oh, flirt all you want as long as you don't do anything, that's fine.
But it's like planting a seed almost. I feel
in
like
a way, I get it. Like, in a way, you're... Because, like you said, you flirt by accident.
I flirt by accident, but also I only flirt by accident when I'm single. Like, I only flirt by accident when I'm single.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true, too.
Like, have you ever seen me, like, literally my guy's in the room, or, like, I'm dating a guy, I'm literally only thinking about that person, or I'm only with that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's I just don't care. I mean, I almost... How is it, like, when I'm into a guy, I'm not even talking to my friends half the time. Like, I'm that person that I was at a party, like, we'll talk about New Year's. I was literally in the corner with my guy the whole night, not talking to anyone. So how are you going to go over here and be like, you know?
Flirting, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I get it, yeah. It's just,
But then, like, okay, they're not there, and you're at work, you're at your job, and there's a hot guy that's, like, that you work with every day, and you have to work with him, and you have to talk to him, and they're cracking jokes and stuff. Yeah, I guess it becomes a gray area, because it's, like, how do I differentiate, like, what, like, laughing is? So I guess I kind of understand, but... I think maybe some flirting is innocent, but obviously we're all adults and we know what, like...
In a way, I do get it.
We know, like...
planting a seed.
Yeah, like, we know what's too far and what's not too far. But, yeah, I mean, like... even, like... Okay, this one's good, but, like, I would say, like, your coworker. You need something from them. You're texting. You start texting a little bit more. Like, texting is still cheating. Even if you're not,
so?
Yeah, like, you're not meeting up, but, like, you're laughing. Like, they're making you laugh, and you're invested. You're waiting for the next text that they send.
Interesting. That's cheating. Like, I never thought about anything like that.
Because you're letting somebody else who's not in a relationship make you feel, like, a certain way.
Interesting.
That's so cheating.
You might be onto something here,
No, that's so cheating to me. And
it's cheating, too, because some people might think cheating is kind of just, like, physical act. No. But I never went to the aspect of kind of just like innocently cheating without even knowing it.
I think a lot of people do that all the time, and like maybe that's also just me being a psycho, but it's like
no, your psycho ways are getting on. They're getting
I know a lot of
right
other
now.
people that are going to be listening to this can agree with me. Like, if you're letting somebody like it buzzes and you're like, oh my god, you know, you're getting googly eyes over somebody that's not your boyfriend. Like, I don't know.
That's a little suspicious. I mean, I never thought of it that way, but interesting.
I don't know. I mean, that's just like my take on it, and that's why it's almost like, as lonely as it is being single, we don't have to deal with all this drama of all of that. What is
and that kind of goes to my next topic, kind of just like trust your partner until given a reason not to. You know, like this goes back to you being a psycho bitch. If you have that mentality going into any relationship, it's never going to work out, because essentially you're kind of just digging and you're waiting for them to fuck up. You're just waiting for like a flaw. You're waiting. You're just like
and
they're hunting.
That's why this last person, like relationship, that
you let all your guards down. And
I let all my guards down, and I was letting the person I thought who was my best friend at the time, I was letting her flirt with my person right in front of me, and I was just like, oh, like that's just her being her. Like she always told me not to worry. And she still tried to get out of him, and so, and I looked like stupid as fuck, and like yeah, you should never be asking somebody who's not your fucking boyfriend, like, or like it's your like best friend's guy, like, oh, like what's your sign? Oh, like, oh, okay, a Leo. Oh my god,
we're
like,
so compatible.
We're like, yeah, like, oh my god, I'm an Aries. That's so weird. Like, but that's just not necessary.
And it kind of just goes down to just like I feel like you should go into a relationship trusting someone until they give you a reason not to trust. And for example, those reasons would be all the red flags that we just kind of listed, and how to catch and look for signs of a man like that might be cheating, or a girl that might be cheating. It's kind of just like, if these are the red flags and these are the reasons that might ruin your trust, then start to act suspicious and start being the nosy bitch. But until then, it's kind of just like having this mentality and having baggage from your previous relationship onto your next one. You're setting your relationship up for disaster, essentially. And you're kind of just, it's not going to work out if you're going to be constantly negative about it.
And that's constantly why thinking that like,
they're going to be cheating the entire time.
I don't get how some girls jump from relationship to relationship to relationship. I have a really good friend. She literally dated this same guy all 4 years of high school. And
speak up.
She dated the same guy all 4 years of high school, and senior year comes around, and we realize, like, oh my god, he's been cheating with all these girls that we know, that Lily kept it quiet, and she can't get those years back. But the thing is like, she got cheated on. She spent a week coping, writing him letters. They got back together for like literally a week until she realized it's not the same. Like, she couldn't go back to it.
Yeah.
And then the guy she was working with, all that innocent flirting, they got together like a week later, and they are getting married. Like, they were together now from like senior year to now. She jumped from being in a relationship all 4 years to being in a relationship now after getting cheated on. And it's like, I personally, like, props to you if you can do that, but I need to heal. I need to like not be a psycho bitch anymore. Like, I don't know how girls do it. I don't know. It's crazy. Or even boys even.
But I mean, maybe she's kind of like the right person. Maybe that new guy gave her a lot of reassurance.
No, exactly. But like, clearly, like, she never changed or thought it was like, that's what I was really proud of her, actually. It's like, she never questioned herself. She just knew he was like the pig the whole time, you know?
I mean, that's good. Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's cool that she like did that. But I'm just saying, like, with me, like, I personally, like, after like failing with guys, like, I want to like heal and fully like learn even more to not be an even like more psycho bitch.
Yeah.
So the next relationship that I actually have that actually means something, like, I'm not over here looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds. Like, why is Elena talking to him that much? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's not like, a good mentality to have going into any relationship whatsoever.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you guys, it wraps up this week's episode of Elena Ron. We are back. Thank you so much, Danny, for coming along. Before we go, is there anything you want to plug?
Probably just like my OnlyFans and my Instagram,
which will all be linked down below. Obviously, mine too. And with that being said, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. Give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Welcoming Danny back, not essentially, but glad to have you back, baby.
Oh, I'll be coming on a little bit more and a little bit more.
As long as you guys love her, we will have her. But you guys, that was this week's episode. Until my next episode, bye. That was cute.